Hey, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm going to go ahead and give you a deck profile. One of my favorite clans of all time, the Spike Brothers. We're going to go ahead and tell you about our starter. His name is Mecha Trainer. You can kind of last one and get the search for any grid when you want. So I think he's really important in the deck because you can go get a stride fodder, you can go get a perfect guard, anything you want. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So we're going to run four Lyre Lips. Put into the soul, +5, get the draw card. The main critical trigger that I think comes in handy the most is Silence Joker. You want to run 4 Silence Jokers because you want to put them into the soul so you can, flip up a damage. It's very important, Spike Brothers. We always like our hand size, so we run 4 draw triggers. You can run any ones you want, but with Rising Nova's Stride skill, with Miracle Ace's skill, you want to have cards in your hand in order to call out, and 4 heal triggers.
And why do we play 4 heal triggers?
So we don't die and we can G-guard.
That too.
Back when I ran Bloody Ogles, I didn't run any heals. I only ran crits and draws. That was it. And it was awesome. I never lost it.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's the only deck in ever Vanguard's existence you played no heal triggers.
Yes. Alright. Let's go ahead and go into the grade 1s. We're going to jump into Acrobolt. I run about 3 of these because you tend to draw straight into a lot of grade 3s of this deck. But this is just the one that can help you search for a card with Rising in its card name, so it goes straight into Rising Nova. And you run 2 of the kitty cats.
Meow.
I think these are actually extremely important because this GB1 has charge, and when it's placed on the rear guard, it gets +4, and when it goes into the bottom of the deck, it gets another +4 to any of your other units on the field. So because of charge, as soon as the battle's done, it goes to the bottom, so you get an extra 4 wherever you want. Frog Raider, 3 of these guys. I think he comes in the clutch as well. He always creates a really big column. GB1, whenever a unit with charge is placed in front of him, if you have Rising Vanguard, you get to stand this guy if it's placed in front of him. So it's really crazy. He gets nuts. And 4 unflipped PGs. Like I said, you really love the counter charge in this deck. You love your counter blasts because of mainly your stride guy, which is Rising Nova, and your grade 4s. So it's grade 1s. Grade 2s. Grade 2s are really important in this deck. I can't really stress that enough. You have to have grade 2s in this deck. I play 4 Winky Killer Miseries. GB1, when this unit's boosted, call out a unit from deck and it gets +5. So you can call out a unit with charging, like that could go straight into Heave Wheeze, or it can be anybody that you can call out a deck. It doesn't have to be with charge, but it could be anyone. But it ties into like people like this, where if it has GB1 and has charge, as soon as he's placed on rearguard circle, he gets +10,000. So if it comes out of the deck with Misery, then it gets +15 automatically. So I mean,
and providing you're behind Frog Raider, that's
it's sitting at 24 on its own. So that's pretty crazy. And then when I show you the grade 4s, you're gonna see why it gets really nuts. But I play 2 of the high-speed Brackies because they're they basically are charging. Soul Blast 1, and it gets +5 and returned to the deck at the end of the battle phase. So, like I said, you really love calling on a deck, and every unit you call out, it gets more and more power. It's fantastic. I love it. Love it, love it. Cobalt Impulse. I run 2 of these guys. They both have charge, and these are basically pressure guys early on in the game because he has to hit. But when he does hit, he does good damage. Like you get to draw, and you get to choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So he's a pressure guy. And I run 2 Dudley Masons. Everybody knows Dudley Mason. He's really OG. Counterblast 1, when he hits soul, countercharge, put a card into your soul from hand and search for a card out of deck. So he's really good at starting stuff as well. And we're going to go into our grade 3s now. And we're going to run, of course, 4 Exceptional Expertise Rising Nova. GB2, when he attacks, you get to search, or when a unit strides on him, counterblast 1, put a card in the hand, and when he attacks, search. That unit gets called out, gets +5. So imagine that with Heave-Wees or just something like that. You know, you're getting so much power, and power is dispersed everywhere in this deck, and it's amazing. It's unbelievable how much power you can get with this deck. And then that goes into a card that I really love in this deck and comes in the clutch. Bulldozer Dobie. I run 2 of these guys. I'm thinking about putting another one in, but basically, like I said, he's the same exact thing as Heave-Wees, except he starts off at 11,000. So he's sitting at 21 on his own as soon as he comes out of the deck. And if you get power from your other cards, it's gonna get so big. Like, I can get 43,000 before the drive check easily. And I run 2 Hive Makers. Hive Makers, it has charging as well, and I don't ever only use her effect with when this unit goes to the bottom of the deck. You can Counterblast and Soul Blast, take a card from Counterblast, Soul Blast, take a card from your hand and call it to an open rearguard. So as soon as this unit attacks, it goes to the bottom because of the charge ability. So that leaves you an open spot in the front row. Say if you had Frog Raider right here, then you get to call out of hand Bulldozer Dobie. You get to call Bulldozer Dobie out of hand, +10, skill of Frog Raider, stand. You know, and it gets retarded after a while. And your opponent's like, is it over yet? No, it's not even close to over yet. We're just getting started. Spike Brothers is really in your face. I really like the Rising Nova deck build because it's definitely a lot more consistent, and it's really hard to brick with this deck. Basically, the reason why it's so hard to brick with this deck is because of the grade 4s. Because of the grade 4s, you're able to go out of the deck and call units, or even in your hand, even if you don't have rear guards. 4 Miracle Ace. This card is fantastic. Everybody should know this unit. You can Counterblast 1, choose a face down card of him, flip it face up. Whenever a unit goes back into the deck, choose another one of your units and get +5. So you can use the +5 on Rising Nova or any of your other rear guards. If he has GB3, you have the Soul Blast 2. When a unit goes into the deck, call a card from hand into an open rear guard. It's crazy. It's unreal. And like I said, you can keep using Frog Raider with that. It's just infinite. Like, as long as you have a good soul, you can just keep doing it with Frog Raider, because Frog Raider is going to be sitting in the back, and every time a unit comes back from your hand with charging, Frog Raider is just going to keep on standing and over and over again. So that's 4 Rising Novas. And like I said, I really like pressure cards in your face, so we're going to run 2 Lilies. What Lily does is when this card hits, so if you stride this card first, and a lot of people let the first stride hit because they're sitting at usually 3 damage, so they're not too stressed. But this card makes them use cards from their hand, because if it hits, you get to call a card from hand with charging, and it gets +5. And you get to draw when it goes to the bottom of the deck. It's in your face, and I love the pressure on her. It's fantastic.
Because a lot of people like to take that first stride, but if you go into Lily first stride, you're like, fuck, I don't want him to draw, and I don't want another attack.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason why I run 4 Super Heavy Chariot Tiger Centurions with Rising Nova, Soul Counterblast 1, put a card into your soul, search, you know, blah blah blah. But if you can't, and you're just right, and you have Hive Maker as your vanguard or Bulldozer Dobie as your vanguard, you can still Counterblast 1, and because of Tiger Centurion, you can Counterblast 1. All of your units that have charging ability gain charge, even if they're already on the rearguard circle, or you have to call them from hand. And all the other units get +2. So the power gets big, and he's definitely a really good aid if you get stuck. And 2 Great Villain Dirty Picaros. Very, very, very good. GB3, Counterblast 2, choose a card, turn it face up. His skill, you get to call out however many units from the deck equal to the amount face up in your G zone. That's nuts.
He's the Blizzard.
He's nuts. You get to. He doesn't get big, but you're calling everything out onto your field. You can call 2 Bulldozer Dobies and 2 of the cats that have charging with +4. So plus 10, plus 10, plus 4, plus 4. And with Rising Nova skill, when you attack, you get to search for another card. So you can do a Bulldozer Dobie from Rising Nova, plus 15, then another plus 10, then a plus 4, then a plus 4 on 7. It's nuts. They go everywhere. And it's just, Dirty Picaro, he's the GOAT. He's super strong. He's super good.
Alright, so I got a question for you. How many times have you gone into Dirty Picario and lost the turn after that? Or have not won that turn?
If I go into Dirty Picaro in any turn, and I don't win, you can guarantee they no longer have a hand. Because you're calling in and out of the deck.
That's
and
such a big
there's a lot of power.
There's so many. 3 columns with that 2,300 or more attack is fucking nuts in its own, but you get it up to 43, 44 as high as you fucking want it, which is also absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So
it's not very often that I lose after the turn of Dirty Picaro, but if I do, you can believe that their hand is going to be really diminished. Because, and my hand's going to be pretty much fine, because out of that turn I only use 1 card from Rising Nova and I put it into the Soul. That's really it. And of course you want your G guards. I run 2 of these girls. If you have 3 or less rear guards, she gets plus 5. Of course you can run other G guards if you wish. You can run anything that you want. But she's just, I love her. I think she's really good. Because Spike Brothers, everything goes back into the deck. You don't have many rear guards.
That's just an inherent plus 5. So,
so it really comes in handy.
Yeah.
But that is the Rising Nova build of the Spike Brothers that I run. I love it. And of course, as always, you always have to have the Dudley Emperor sleeves.
So pretty.
You gotta have them.
You can't play the deck without them. You shouldn't even buy it. There's no point in playing this deck without these sleeves.
But if you are interested in Spike Brothers, I highly recommend the Rising Nova build.
Especially because it's getting more support.
And it's definitely getting more support. It's getting a lot of good support. The Bad End build, it's good, but it does not have anything on the Rising Nova build. So yeah, this is my main deck. I love this deck. I have a very, very big surprise for you guys coming up by the end of this week, so stay tuned. But back to the Spike Brothers. If you like Spike Brothers, go with this deck. I love this deck. It's always fun. You never don't have fun playing this deck. This deck is amazing. If you love Spike Brothers, please play this build.
Alright guys, well that's going to do it. Thank you Tristan for sharing that with us. As Team X-Cross, Team CrossCFV, whatever you're fucking care about.
And if you like this video, please like, please subscribe, and let me know how I did on the deck profile, and so I can give you some more information if I didn't do as well as you guys hoped on the next one.
Of course, yeah, definitely. If you got any suggestions, questions, just make sure to leave a comment down below. Comment on the post that we're about to post this on. Any questions, just let us know and we'll be happy to answer.
Thanks guys.